When you're ready. All righty, I think we are as ready as we're going to be.
All right. Welcome to the Oregon City Arts Commission. We are starting Thursday, June 20th at 7:16. If we could first do a call to order.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Amanda Allwine. Here. Trieste Andrews.
Here.
Karen Burrig.
Here.
Chair Tima Carlson.
Here.
Daria Loy.
Here.
Emma Lugo.
Here.
Josh Planton has an excused absence. Choir.
Cheers, I'm gonna be.
Rebecca Sierra. Oh, all right. And Mayor Denise McGriff.
Present.
Wonderful. If we can please review the agenda for today and make a motion for approval.
I move to approve the agenda. I second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. If you can also review the minutes for May 16, 2024. If there are any changes, please let us know. We'll give you a couple moments. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes for May 16, 2024?
Motion to approve.
Second?
And?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain since I was not there.
Okay.
For the record, I believe you do not need to have been present at the meeting as long as you don't have questions with the contents.
Correct. That's according to Robert's Rules of Order and Parliamentary Procedure. You can still approve and vote on minutes because you were reading them as they were submitted. So you do not have to be present.
Very good. All right, let's move on to our public comment.
We did not receive a public comment request at the office today.
Okay. Okay, our discussion items for today. Number 1, update on 7th and Center Street art. And I believe we have a special guest for that.
Well, I'd like to invite Jenny to come on up. Our artist, Jenny Ellsworth, is here. and you can take it. I'm going to invite people to come and look and see what Jenny is going to be showing us. She has props, as you can see. When you do go up to the table, if you could just stand behind it on the side that she's on now, because the camera is looking at it from this side. So as you go closer to look at what she's going to be showing, be on that side of the table. If you can see it from there, perfect.
I do have one question. I'm just, did Public Works reply to any of the requests for them to be here for the meeting?
I've had multiple conversations with folks at Public Works, particularly Dante Posadas, although Josh Wheeler is also very helpful. What we have determined is that because of sightline restrictions for the location, the height of the statue and solid form can only go up to 4 feet. But above that, it can be quote unquote transparent, or in other words, allowing for some visibility for drivers who are traveling south. Oh, she's coming person. I'm laughing because we're being joined in person by Ms. Choir, so I'm going to end the Zoom call. Welcome, Choir. Thank you for making the effort to come in person.
I didn't even turn my Zoom meeting off.
So is relocation of it down?
No, actually, they really do prefer that we use that pedestal location. What I think there's room for discussion, and Jenny, you can give an update when you're addressing everybody. It can still be taller than the 4 feet line as long as there's room for visibility for the drivers. So that's my understanding.
And if I may add, Denise and I met with Dante at the location a couple of weeks ago, and information was shared actually with Jenny. Jenny came to the gallery and I did a lot of drawing. I shared all the pictures that I took on the site when we were there and the various measurements that were taken. And yes, it cannot be removed. The pedestal was something around, if I recall, $5,000 to $8,000 to be able to move it even a foot. But we did learn that if Jenny wants, and we'll find out with her submissions, you can actually come out of the footprint of the base of about, I think, was about a foot towards the inside, right? Not towards the street, and I think actually even 2 feet on the left, not towards the ADA access, but on the other direction. So meaning that you could have something that is off-centered and kind of larger and kind of moves a bit on the side and towards the pedestrian, because there's plenty of space there. Yeah.
It's interesting, the previous statue, it was solid and there was no problem seeing around it. So I was very surprised by that. Since I use that intersection frequently, you pull up to the stop bar and that statue was not in the way.
I mean, Dante gave us, left this printout of the cone, let's say, that tells you from when you are at the stop, right, what areas is the one that has to be under a certain, has to be passed through visually, and I shared that.
It's the clear vision. It's the clear vision area.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember the name.
It's a long triangle.
Yeah, and so I gave the printout to Jenny, so she had that information.
Remember to use either the night mics there or the other one so that they get picked up.
So Jenny, would you like to either come forward to the desk here or take a microphone and share with us what you got?
You can just pull it out of the thing or take the whole thing with you. You see a green light, it's on.
Okay. So taking in all that into consideration, I'm super excited to either with these three concepts to kind of go a little bit
Gotta
into
be
the
talking
side.
into it.
Oh, a little bit into the side. Hold on.
Possible to hold it in your hand?
Take the mic out.
Yeah, it's not nerve wracking at all.
Yeah, sorry, just pretend you're on a
Pretend you're Mariah.
yeah.
And don't forget to identify yourself for the record, because even though she introduced you, she's got to do it too.
Okay. I'm Jenny Ellsworth. I'm creating a couple ideas to present to the city. This will just kind of help hone me in on where I should go, because I got super excited about this spot. These are 2 scale models. This is a 4-foot by 4-foot pad, and I can go a little bit this way, and I can go a lot this way. This is the ADA ramp, and that's the nearest tree. So, this is a double spiral, and I added a couple little copper things to give it texture. And this would be a larger scale of it. That way it's a little bit more going on. Okay, let me start with I got excited making each one of these and would like some input on which one to hone in on. I incorporated a water theme throughout 3 sculptures. These waterfalls have connected many people in the past and will continue far into the future. I kept in mind welcoming soft flowing sculptures, openness, interactive, friendly, and how to bring in textures. So with the double spiral, we have an electromagnetic field around our hearts, and since we are mostly made of water, one thought would be to put a heart in the middle. So I have like a little example. Do that. That'd be way more detailed later. This also could invite a bouquet of flowers for growth. I would make these out of gears, something from the paper mill or recycled car parts. The tubing could easily be something from the paper mill, possibly in the future. Adding texture. Oh, an interesting way to involve the community. I could make the tubing like little time capsules, and the community could put things in there, and then I can cap it. Maybe I should have brought this. Okay, so this one. I made sure I can do more solid down here and then be more transparent up here. So Parks and Rec is cool with that. The idea for some of this is adding raindrops to it that could turn in the wind or be touched. C channel is where I'm getting this idea. That's something that the paper mill would probably have to recycle. Kind of flows like the road, and then it can create the heart. Let's see, City Hall's over here. We can put City Hall in the heart, or we can put the McLaughlin House in the heart. These are also like interchangeable. We can play with that. Bring these more to a point and twist is also an option.
Can we ask questions during? The raindrops, what are those made of, and is there risk to vandalism?
I would like to make, there's so many options. Metal, so this would be like a rod, or it could be a really thick cable. And then I put the raindrops through that, and they wouldn't be able to take it off. One thought would be to also sleeve this over and put raindrops between it so we can get some color in there. Powder coat's also going to come in later when we finalize some things. Raindrops on a rod. These, because my mom and I were having fun today. And then we could texture it. I didn't want to get too crazy about something in the front, just because it might start looking like a ladder, and we know kids and large kids. Yeah, any other question? Okay. And then the other one. And this is the one where it has pictures to help me. And this is a couple pictures of,
Would you like me to show the pictures you sent me?
yeah. This is why I need help honing in my ideas. So these two shapes I have, they're giant plows from a farm. And they're made out of stainless steel, not that we have to keep it that color, but it's a thick enough metal to be able to plasma cut out designs that would fit with the community. So that can open this up quite a bit.
That monitor, so what they're seeing in front of them now, one of them is the picture with the chain, and then the other one was the picture that had the silver and had the chicken in it. Is that the picture you want them to be looking at?
That's perfect, thank you.
Chickens are not included.
The chicken's not in there.
I know Denise is not a fan of chickens. The rooster part.
Yeah, not roosters.
So the chain part, it's a giant boat chain, and my hand's in it. You can see how big it is. I was trying to mimic that, and they can be welded completely still and to possibly look like water flowing through the heart. And that would be fun to kind of bring it out onto the pedestal more. Let's see. Yeah, the third
How
one.
tall is that, the base, I guess, that, the base of the,
That one is 2.5 feet. Luckily, I did everything to scale. Yeah, 2.5 feet. Let me add more decoration. So, flowing water, twisty things. There's so many ways to decorate a heart, and that's why I'm super excited to see if we can get into the paper mill, because that can also speak to me to do things. That's how the plows spoke to me. This is another thought, is to take out one of these and do a basket weave on the other side.
Nice.
A lot we can do with that. My mom was starting to play with this, and we can even do that and kind of do a sideways wavy or water heart with a basket. Yes.
Could you, you know how you have the curls as the curve of the heart and the plow on the one side? Could the basket, just the basket top be the curve of the heart and the plow?
Oh, just, pop
Yeah.
out there.
Like, that would look pretty tight.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Next to it or on top of it?
Like if I,
Just like
Just
how she
cut
used the
it.
curl inside of the plow, but you make a basket on one side and a curl on the other
Yeah.
side to represent the heart.
It makes more sense from here
Yeah.
because it's the perspective you cut to the back. Yeah, like
Got
that.
it.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's super cool.
Yeah.
I like the boat chain idea too.
okay.
And what is the picture, the third picture here, the very large,
And it's in a bush.
yes.
That was a rose bush. I did not want to mess with that. That is the only, that's the only part I have currently from the paper mill I got years ago from a friend.
Oh,
So I could incorporate something if they don't let us in.
Yeah. I really like the idea of plasma cutting the plow things too. That's cool.
Emma, go ahead.
So when I first saw your design, the one that won me over was, yeah, it was that. I mean, I think that it's a brilliant design, and I can understand having a lot of other choices. Like, to me, that design is unique. You've mentioned trying to go for a theme that includes some kind of a heart, which is like interesting. I mean, I'm wondering, just because like the shape of a heart to me isn't really that connected to your original design. So I guess what I'm wondering is there a reason that you would back off of what you originally submitted to us? I mean, which one do you feel the strongest about aesthetically? Which one are you the most attached to from the ideas that you've presented to us? And what are you going for? I guess that's part of what I'm wondering.
Okay, this is going to be an outward processing thing, okay? Because every single one I had a love-hate relationship with. This one is so fun. Everything about it has been very attractive. The heart, I guess, was just to kind of maybe give it more substance and to bring in more, but I can easily do that with everything else. The heart in general has been really, like the one Denise took a picture of, the one that's real bulky. That one was a lot of fun. It did take a really long time. So as I'm thinking about this can be time consuming. But I understand there's a little leeway with me, which is awesome. This has a lot of recycled material in it that people can relate to. I can also bring that in here. This one, really good question, but it got fun towards the end. I think, so what I'm also thinking about is powder coating. So as I'm building each one of these, powder coater's gonna hate me on this. They will like me on this. I have no idea if they'll even accept me. Size-wise, I can definitely do this because I have a form that I can go over. This one would be a little bit challenging just because I'd have other people in the mix. I'd have to get my friend to draw this out on a CNC, have somebody cut it, have somebody form it, and then I can weld it all together, and then I have to get it powder coated. So a lot of people involved in that. This one, it'd be just me. But it'd be time. This one I would need to find somebody to also curve this, and then I can start forming. I did not answer your question.
Ms. Carlson?
Did I?
So the neighborhood didn't like that one. And that's, I'm just gonna be honest about it.
That's
They
first one?
Yeah, the idea, when I was talking to Jenny and talking to Daria and talking to other people, what I kept hearing at the neighborhood association level, and I'm just repeating, is that that particular location is near the heart of our neighborhood. And what I heard from them was something relatable. And I have to say, nobody loved the two-head people thing. And we still are trying to figure out how that got approved because there wasn't a process. The Arts Commission was on hiatus or whatever the city did with it at the time. And it just sort of appeared. And everybody kind of went, they made a face. So when I went out, we both went to, both folks, and clearly, just from an aesthetic standpoint, Jenny has more of a, how would I say, empathy for what she works on. It's not that he didn't, but it was like, well, I got these pieces, this is what I got to do this, I got another show I got to do, I'm done. You know? And I think under other circumstances, he might have been able to create something, but I think that just wasn't in the cards. And it probably, I could see he was a little bit relieved because he was getting ready for a big show that he was going to be doing. I think either way you go, I'm real intrigued with your raindrop idea. Personally, from a standpoint, I would have never thought of that, but I'm not the artist you are. It's intriguing from the standpoint of, like you said, it looks fun. Our neighborhood, I would describe part of it as fun.
Hey, Jenny, I have a couple of questions about that piece, the double spiral. So what I heard you mention was, well, first of all, it's slightly different from the original one because it's a double spiral. And what I heard you say was that we are like, our heart is surrounded by
An electric field.
electric fields, and so and then you placed that, from here is very hard, so I can't see very well, but I think it's a small heart, right? So my understanding is that you kind of modify the original design with this notion of the heart in the center, and then you did this double spiral to mimic the water, as well as this notion of the energy that is around the heart. Is that...
Yeah.
Did I understand properly?
Yeah.
Okay. And personally, I have to agree with Emma. I personally, but it's all kind of personal perspectives, but I do think that that design is very interesting. I really like how you took on the neighborhood association feedback and interest in having this heart of the heart of the city, and incorporated it but yet keeping the heart of your design and incorporating the notion of the flow of the water. I think your idea of having the time capsules is beautiful. It's so beautiful. I mean, I am so excited about it because I can imagine the community loving it, right? And it just becomes this thing that is shared by many, right? It becomes cherished because you are part of it, you're inside it. I think it's a beautiful, and with this notion of this smaller heart in the middle, and then having all the community voices embedded in it, is just a really poetic
Thank you.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say what I think. Is that okay, you guys? Because we're trying to suss this out. So I do feel the two on either side are the strongest. I feel the one in the middle. I like the one in the middle, but it kind of reads to me more like a jewelry piece or something like that, which I don't think is. I think it's lovely, and I really like your idea about the drops. I would say of the two on the side, the double spiral with the heart in the middle, that one really has a feeling of, for me, like timelessness. It's very contemporary in a way that it doesn't look old, it doesn't look new, and I think years from now, it's gonna look like a current statue, like a current piece of art, like decades from now, because it has that simplicity to it. I feel that the heart on the other side, personally, I just think it's stinking cool. I feel like that one, if we're trying to go with an aesthetic that mimics the antiquity of our neighborhood, that one could do that. Honestly, from here, just the mock-up has a steampunk vibe to it for me, especially the cage part. But I think we could work that in if the neighborhood association wants a sculpture that kind of reads a little more both modern and reverberates just the aesthetic of the historic neighborhood. I think that one could do that. So that's my feedback on both of those. And then I think if you went with the time capsule one, it could be cool. It could be cool for you to make it so that you can have a time capsule for years to come. Like you can like etch the date, and it could be like an annual thing. Maybe the schools all put something, and it can grow with the neighborhood for like years and years. So that's my thought.
I do have a question on the first one. What is the height?
5 feet.
5 feet tall? And then how wide are the pipes?
The what?
The pipes, the tubes?
Like the individual
The
things, like the
individual
thickness.
tubes, yes.
Yeah.
Individual
What is the diameter of those?
would be about 2 3/4, 2 1/4. It's roll cage tubing is what I'm hoping for, because the car wouldn't hurt it.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, about 5 feet, or sorry. 4.5, 5 feet. So this one would be a little bit off to one side, which is kind of fun. And it would look more personalized to the pedestal if we do it a little off to the side and maybe like go down and touch the curb a little bit, then you know it's made for that spot. And yeah, that's what I was playing with on that one.
I want to have everybody keep asking questions, but I do want to thank you for, I feel like you addressed the idea of it's going to be solid up to 4 feet and then have these transparent elements above, and you came back with two, like, two designs that do exactly that. And so I just want to thank you for being adaptable and flexible with that. I think that says a lot.
Thank you. It's fun. This is good feedback.
Yeah, thank you. So what would be the next steps? We're still working with the Neighbors Association to determine the,
I feel like at some point we have to honor the integrity of the arts choice.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
also of the Arts Commission's recommendation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that we've spent an adequate amount of time getting neighborhood feedback. I mean, I think that putting time capsules in the sculpture is certainly one way of addressing that concern. Like putting a heart in the middle of it might. But I also think that there's some things that we're making choices about as artists that really matter.
Yeah.
And that we have to, respect our process, because we've looked at a lot, we've done a lot of considerations as a local artist. And we've heard a lot. And, at some point we have to make a choice.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
So can I ask you, if we were not giving any opinions out of the three, which one would do you love more as an artist? Like which one, you know what I'm saying? Like you have favorites, it's okay. You can say it, Mom. You get it.
I'd say the double spiral, just because the entire process would flow. This one, I definitely have to be in the, an artist that you have to be in the mood for. Like that heart that Denise liked, it took about 4 months, because every time I had to get in the mood.
I would like to say at this time, we did get an extension for you, so you have until the end of the year. You have 6 months extended from June 30th.
Great.
That's good. But I mean, I think still the feedback of Emma, I could not agree more. I think, you're the artist.
That's right.
We provide feedback, but at some point a decision has to be made, and we need to honor, your decision and your perspective, and then, also, and then of course the Arts Commission, we need to sort of, I think, move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very sweet. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
How do we want to proceed with that? Are we doing any voting, or we're just basically, I think we're doing voting in the Arts Commission, votes?
Before we do that, just check the timeframes. I think what we were thinking after you guys made your report and you met with, at the site, that we were gonna try to have a draft at July and pick the final at August, is that right? And then you would have the 3 to 4 months time to finish building, and then it would be installed like around Thanksgiving.
I
Is that
thought
correct?
I thought that we discussed to have Jenny present today and come to a decision today. That was my understanding.
I'm
and I
just,
think-
I'm just trying to confirm the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I would like to propose that, honestly, these mock-ups are so detailed that I feel like we could make a decision today, and I'm just gonna put that out there for the.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah. So should we just do that? Yeah?
The
So
only
we-
thing, I would like to hear from Denise as the neighborhood association, any of your thoughts on any of those
Here's
three
the neighborhood
pieces.
association person.
Oh,
I have my different hat on today,
Okay,
which is why I didn't sit at the dais when I was here last time.
okay.
So I can only tell you what, what they told me. And going from there, I think you do have to make a decision. I think that she did a good job, and so just, we're all artistic in our own very way. So I personally am not do things like you do, but I do art, but it's different. So I would say that what you said, Daria, is appropriate, and you asked her what her opinion is, and I didn't say the neighborhood hated it. I said they just weren't that thrilled with it when they saw the original. But again, we've had many conversations since then with the folks, and I think that they will be, I can't speak for them, but as a group, I think they'll be accepting, is kind of what I would say, just because
Do
I've
you
been
think-
involved with them for so long, but
Do you think, Denise, that the amendments, the changes that Jenny made to incorporate the time capsules from the citizens as well as the art in the middle might address some of that feedback and might make the association feel that their voice was heard?
they didn't discuss anything about a time capsule. I think the
Yeah,
more you
no.
have to, when I think of a time capsule, it's something that you're going to take out at a certain period of time and you're going to open it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're going to do the piece, I like the idea, just aesthetically, you could have a little ceremony there and you could etch in the next date.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
how do you want, I don't want somebody to mess with your piece once you
Yeah.
built it
No,
by taking something out or putting something in or,
Yeah.
yeah.
because it's not, a time capsule is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about figuring out the caps that can be incorporated. That's where
So like a
an
tube
etching
and
would
you
be.
put things on the end of it or whatever, so, we don't want somebody to come 10 years from now and go, oh, we can't get this opening.
That's true. I mean, I just saw the Barclay time capsule structure, and then they never found the time capsule. But yeah, they just destroyed that.
I know.
That was crazy. I would like to propose something, and I'm not trying to be this is what you should do at all. If this is a vibe you like, and an alternative to a time capsule situation, because it is more work down the road, and we don't know how future generations could treat the sculpture. Would to be on the inside of the tube, because it is so visible to the inside. Maybe have the neighborhood write what the neighborhood means to them personally, and write that etch that on the inside of the tubing in the center. And so that's just a.
We did that when, the neighborhood did that when the sign that's there, and there's a quote that actually was, it's a real quote, but it was chosen to be on that sign specifically.
Yeah.
And that was a collective effort.
Yeah.
That would be really lovely, actually, to have submissions from
Yeah. From
the
people who-
neighborhood
Yeah.
and to have that permanently incorporated.
Okay, well, let's make a vote then.
So are we gonna do
I
one,
think we
two,
should
three?
just raise our hands, yeah.
Oh, let's do the
One
raise hands.
starting with
Do
the,
people feel comfortable with that, or we can do written too, but.
I'm
go with that, with the orb, then the heart, I guess, in the center, number 2, and then number 3 is the one on the far left. All right. Number 1, please raise your hands if you would like to recommend that as.
And could we just add on to that with the addition of a heart in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Okay, number 2.
I think you're done.
Number 2. Okay.
too, Timo. I really like that. That it says so much.
All right, well, it looks like you have our recommendation.
Thank you so much.
We very much
Thank you,
appreciate you
Jenny.
bringing the models to scale to our meeting.
Yes, that is
So
wonderful.
Tim and I are going to now fight over the model.
You'll have to arm wrestle my mom.
Bring it.
And Jenny, thank
Let's
you
know how
for
much you
being,
want for it.
yeah, thank you for being so wonderful to work
Yes.
with. I just,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, item number 2 on our discussions list, raising awareness about the Arts Commission.
Before we move on, can I just ask you, so do you feel like you need anything else from us, Jenny, now that we have, is there anything else you need from us before we let you go tonight? Okay.
No, I don't think I do, and now I'll just like focus on the next meeting and finalizing the details on it with like the size and how to anchor it.
Actually, I have one question. Did you mention that the heart in the middle could be powder coated, like could be cut in color?
I was thinking,
You can turn one of those microphones on, the little square
red
button.
the button on the
On the
bottom.
base.
it has a,
Yeah,
it has a
See that
light.
red square?
Is it red?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Then
it's
you
on.
can, yeah.
I was thinking for the spiral, it could do the dark blue to light blue.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We can also play with an inside color versus an outside color, so then you have the different changes. And then the heart, I was thinking like a nice deep brick red. And do you remember what the heart, it wasn't the beefy heart, but it was kind of like the railing heart? I was thinking like that inside.
Yeah.
And there can be texture in there. And that can also give us a little bit more options for texture, like copper and
Yeah.
things that the public really, it'd take a lot for them to go in there and mess with it. So that would be like a little cage of awesomeness.
Hey, Jenny, can I take a picture of you next to your 3 models? Please.
Mom's just so proud.
Exactly.
About the antiquity of the third piece. It's got all the elements, and then you talked about cutouts. That would, like you said,
Yeah.
it would look awesome.
Yeah, and also you can bring that antiquity vibe to the center heart too.
Yes.
Like, of the swirl, yeah. Not so detailed. Well, I mean, maybe, no, I mean, that's like a lot of work, but, but yeah, you know how that one has like a steampunk antiquity vibe, you can do that with, anyways, blah, blah, blah. These are just my ideas, I'll be quiet. You're the artist? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yay, Jenny! No worries.
Do we really have to arm wrestle your mom for that? I'll text you. I'm sure she might have a price.
Denise is coming.
And I know where you live, so that's. You forgot I went out there, so.
Good. Number
Do you want
2.
some help getting out the door?
Go ahead, guys.
Raising awareness about the Arts Commission.
Yes.
That would be me and Daria.
Thank you. Okay. Anne, did you by any chance have the logo and the, okay. We don't have to do that like the second if you want. I just. Okay. So I'll kind of go, it's not in order of importance or whatever. But one of the things that we were thinking about, you guys might remember during the strategic planning meeting that Daria and I had raised our hands to like, how can we bring more awareness about what the commission's doing and that we're actually here? And so one of the low-hanging fruit was like, what if we came up with a logo that was always at the end of a social media post that started to be associated with us? And so I was working with Daria and Anne, and Anne was pointing out some of the city's branding guidelines, and I saw there's a big mural down by corner 14, and then there's the one by the elevator that has the Oregon City and kind of the teal and the orange and all that. So we just came up with a really simple logo. Do we want to have one? Do we like this one? Do we want something completely different? So I put this one together. The Oregon City and Commission that's out of Canva. I don't have time to actually make it actually match the other one. The arts one, though, I did do by hand. So anyway, this is something that could always be at the end of a social media post. So after a while, people would be like, oh, it's the Arts Commission that's part of Oregon City, and I didn't know we had one. And so we thought this would be kind of a fun little branding ping that we could put into things. So that was one idea. And we can change the color, like there's that teal for the Oregon City, but it could be kind of the orange. It could, any of those colors. So that would be something to find out, like, do you guys want to do that? Do you like that? Do you not like it?
Do you want me to show the whole link or just that one?
Is there a second one, or?
Oh, yeah, you can, sure.
I do recall James saying that, I don't know if we want to call it a logo, because the city does have its own logo. So,
Right.
But I do think there's a lot of room for us to play with what you've designed as we do post things in social. We'll be posting it on the city's social media channel, so it will clearly be coming from the city. I think that it's just, I just want to remind folks that that was what he was saying. It's not, we're not a separate organization from the city.
Right.
So that is one thing that that Rebecca and I discussed, that now that we've done a few posts on social media through the city's main channel, we find that the process it doesn't allow us to be as
Yeah, I agree, because, well, you
timely as we would like, because basically we are sending, so that all we're writing and then sending to Anne, and then Anne sends to the folks, and then the folks post. While one thing that we suggested at the beginning was to have the possibility to have a Arts Commission account, because that would mean that we just have a meeting, we decide to post, and we could post every day, we could be very dynamic and responsive, while now, at best, we manage maybe once a week, because it takes so long between all these transactions. There are too many transactions to go through, and so we were wondering whether we can revisit that. We tried now for a few weeks, or several weeks, and is not really ideal for us. I mean, for us to have an actual Arts Commission presence on social media that is, vibrant as social media demands, these multiple hands and emails is really suboptimal to some degree. So we were wondering whether we can do something to be more direct.
Actually, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say probably not. And I don't mean to discourage creativity, but the city worked really hard several years ago to come up with a basic messaging package, because it was everything that we used to do about 5 or 6 years ago before I was on the commission was sort of all over the place. It wasn't something that people could recognize every time that they saw it. To be honest with you, I think Jared would probably be amenable to your having a logo. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That mimics the money we've already spent on, Oregon City is your hometown. It brings in all the things. But I think, maybe there's a way to maybe So is it Jared having you filter it, or is it just, does it have to go directly to you, or can it go directly to him?
Well, you're both asking good questions, and I did ask, so Jared Lyman is,
Or communications
manager, and as luck would have it, his office is right next to mine. So that's a good thing. And I actually met with him this afternoon because I was like, wow, that post about Jenny never went out. Why did that not go out? And we talked about the process, and it's really just, he explained it differently to me. So like I was putting it one place and really I needed to be putting it in a different place. And so then he and I talked about ways to make sure that gets communicated to him more quickly. And again, literally, we sit right next to each other, so I talk to him every day. So I let him know that the process had been too slow to date, and I asked him again, I mean, we want to give you stuff like 2-3 times a week, is that going to be okay? And he's like, I dream of the day when I have too much content, was his reply to me. Okay. So I think, what I'd love to do is just set up a call with the two of you and him, or the four of us on a call, or come into, and let's just talk through the process. But I think he agreed that it was too slow. There's a way to do it faster. And he's actually, and hats off to him, because he's setting up a whole system so that people throughout the city can communicate with the communications team and get stuff posted to social in a more quickly and efficient manner. So he's putting that system in place right now.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's
something they've never really had before. It's not at all.
Yeah.
no.
I mean, you're gonna be doing like periodic updates about, and I think you ought to do something where you're, following along is like, well, she's at this stage, and then we're over here at this stage, and, let's watch it come alive or whatever. I mean, that would be a really fun way to keep the rest of the community involved in what's going on with it.
Yep.
And, it's like when we did the last time before we had Jared, we had a mural painted, and they had somebody come over and they did they filmed it, and then they speeded it up so you could watch it come over. I mean, it was really awesome.
That was
Yeah, so I mean, if we can, because obviously, like, if we know that we can have a quicker way of having them going out, then we can. Right now, we're kind of trying to do one a week, like, because we don't want to burden too much, but if we can have that meeting and then find a more direct way, then we can have more activity, basically.
Yeah, I think he'd be really open to it.
That's awesome, thank you.
Territory to get their act together. And now when you see something, you recognize it. There are these different posts Mountain Terry puts out, and it's fairly consistent. It's a different message every time, but there's a consistency to it. And I think that's what Jared's really trying to get people to understand in the city, that, yeah, we want to know about what's going on in the parks, and we want to know this, and, all of that. But it's got to be within the confines of the communications plan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I think it was just, we were noticing there's a glitch somewhere, and that's what we were trying to identify. I think it would be great if the four of us could meet in person. That would be probably the easiest. So let's do that. And so then the next topic would be getting to the actual posting. So we talked about frequency, and I think that meeting's going to address that. Where to post. Anne showed me on the back end. I think you guys are posting in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and I can't remember the other place.
They do next door also.
Yeah. So we can talk about that in the meeting, because I wasn't sure, like, do they choose which channel that it goes out on, or do we say we just want this to go in this direction? And then the topics, like what Denise was just saying, some of them might be following the story of this piece, the 7th Street piece, and some of it might be info about the actual commission. Some of it might be, things coming up like Porch Fest. And so that gets to the last, second to last item, which is our social media blurb. It would be really cool if we had like a little sentence or two that was tailored to whatever the topic is, but it's like, this is, you know, the Oregon City Arts Commission, this is what we do for you. And then at the very bottom is always templated. These are when our meetings are, and if you want to attend online or come in person, this is how you do it. So that I always include that at the bottom. But when we looked at our mission statement, it's very formal. And it's totally appropriate for that. And I was just thinking, well, it'd be really fun if we figured out what is our voice, and maybe came up with a social media kind of little, like, this is how we want to talk about the Arts Commission. So I created,
These were a couple suggestions that.
oh yeah,
that you sent to me.
these were some of them. This is actually an older one. There's another one that I did some other work that I'm happy to share with you guys too. Depending on what the subject matter is, like, then we could tweak whatever that blurb is so that it kind of fit, like, you know, the Arts Commission is always excited to bring new artists to the city or whatever, and then we're talking about a specific artist. So those are some of our ideas for raising awareness about our commission. I wanted to see what you guys all think. Is there something that we've missed? Is there something that you'd like to see different?
So tagging, is there recommendations for like the Oregon City Arts Commission? Because right now it's Oregon City, City Hall is primarily the only way to tag. Is that
I tagged in the past the Oregon City Arts Commission a couple of posts, but I think there were only 2 posts, which are the one that I made up, is like, because there was not really an official. I mean, basically once you write it the first time, then you can reuse it over and over again. But there wasn't one when I did it. Yeah.
There's tagging that, and there's also tagging, like, let's say the artists or the people that are included in the actual post. That was also a question, and I'll make sure that we bring that up.
But I mean, we can tag with the you know, but not at, because we don't have a presence. You know, that's and also, actually talking of that, we don't have, which is, I understand that we cannot have the presence as, you know, but is there maybe already exists, is there a email address, artscommission@oregoncity.org, that can, because I mean, if we want, how does it work if we want to be contacted for follow-ups? Should we put your email?
I think we can use, there isn't one that I know of, but I think we should create one.
Yeah,
because
it would be really wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Because I mean, if we can have one that the pop mails, at least to me and Rebecca, right? So that if someone, you know, if we write a post and says, for more information, reach out at Arts Commission at blah, blah, and then whomever writes to that address, instead of spamming everyone, maybe sends only to me and Rebecca, and then
Awesome, thank you.
we kind of take care of it.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
In addition to the social media, you know, it'd be wonderful, the trail news that comes out quarterly.
Yeah.
They have almost
Always.
every community engagement under the city.
Yes.
That would be great, that we
Agreed.
do that every quarter. We give the community an update.
Maybe we work on
on
that
what we're doing.
for the trail news. I agree.
Yeah.
And also another thing that we discussed as part of all this, right? Another aspect is our website presence, which is in need for help. And so
We'll add that to our agenda when we meet Jared.
there is some deconstruction there to do. So perhaps maybe for next meeting, I'll try to carve out some time and go through what we have right now and maybe create a little report on, you know, maybe we collaborate, we create a little report on what we see that is not there and what's there and what we could do with it, because I think we need some major makeover.
thing there?
Hey, oh, do you want Emma's been raising her hand.
I like the last tagline. I'm wondering what other kind of do we have social media presence? Like, do we have pages? Do we have a Facebook page or an Instagram page?
No, we
No,
can.
it has to be all under the city.
We're not allowed
That's
to.
what, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they're
Yeah,
sending.
and that's why it's a little glitchy and why we have to have this meeting is like, how do we get the information that we are dying to let people know out and get it through the city and out?
They follow the city, that's the thing, they can't. So it's very limiting, yeah.
Or, I'm sorry.
So for clarification's sake, these suggestions that you put out are like a tagline are more like a slogan.
Yeah.
This is not like hashtags to get us visibility.
No.
So I just want to point that out because it sounded like that conversation started getting a little monkey. So as far as hashtags for visibility, when you guys send the post to be approved by the city, are you allowed to choose your hashtags? Okay, that's great.
Yes,
We've been putting them on there. I don't know if it's okay or not.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
And then I have two other questions, and this is just just my personal clarification that you might talk to Dude about at the meeting. Do you have to send it to Anne and Anne send it to him?
That's what we have to do right now, but I feel like that's really a lot to dump on Anne to do. And so if there's a way that we could actually do it directly, that would save.
And then the other thing is, I wonder, like, is the communication team using some type of social media, like, scheduling
Yes.
app? Okay, do you know which one they're using?
Oh, well, it's one that Jared
Like
created.
Planoly or?
Yeah, I don't think it's an existing app, but he's got it set up. We just do a Teams calendar.
Okay, so I think something that y'all might bring up to him is possibly like you two as the Arts Commission social media people be able to like plan out a month of posts in that.
Yeah.
And then be able to have access to maybe change things as information comes up. Because that would be the most efficient. I
Yeah,
think.
that's actually on our list a little later is to come up with an editorial calendar.
Okay.
But I think we need to like address kind of some of these administrative stuff and then we can start to do some better planning.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
But that's a
you'll
really good
enjoy
point.
meeting him because he's very, and he's just open to this. I mean, he's funny too, but he wants the input, so,
Great,
yeah.
okay.
I was also going to suggest, and you all can think about it, there are some events coming up this summer. Does the Arts Commission want to get a table at like the First City celebration?
Yes.
Want to get a table at the Trag event?
We should.
You know?
We can have one at Porch Fest.
At Porch Fest?
Yes,
And I think First City Celebration would be the perfect.
it would be really good to have, yeah.
So I have a question. So I just thought I'd Google this just because I was curious. Oregon City Library. Now, the Oregon City Library has a Facebook page.
They do. I know.
Why can't the Arts Commission?
I don't know.
I mean,
Parks and
the-
Rec.
The Library Commission.
Yeah, I did a search myself and I found a number of other,
Department and the Arts Commission's not a department.
yeah,
Question to ask.
yeah. Because I mean, it would be so much easier if we had our own accounts. It would be so much easier if we had our own accounts because then you'll be able to have all the posts in one location, right? And people will be able to go there and see, it would be, we would have a presence as opposed to not, basically, yeah.
Can I ask a quick question again? If economic development has their own page and the city has their own page, could we be posting?
All under the city's page.
Yeah, they're all under the city's page.
It's like the city's up here and then there's all these other pages that go underneath. It's like it's a cascading of,
But we could have could we have a page?
Yeah, but if they,
Under?
talk to communications.
that's what I was gonna say. But if we are kind of an arm of the economic development, it'd be cool if we posted on there too, like a little double exposure. I don't know.
Well, hopefully we can have that meeting soon and then we can report back at next month's meeting. Oh, I'm going to be gone next month. You'll have to report back. Okay.
Page and our own website.
If we do the First City Celebration, if I'm not mistaken, it's July 27th.
Yes,
It's coming up quick. This will be the last meeting we'll have to really organize.
yeah.
Is that something
And
that we would
who
like
will be
to
able
do?
to man it because I won't be able to man it because I'll have
Yeah.
my own booth there. You'll have your own booth.
I will have my,
I also have a booth.
Yeah.
Have a table, so you guys
Oh,
So that'd be nice, we could just have one person maybe there,
Have people be at a table.
but someone
It'd
would
be
have to
cool if we
there.
could like make like arts commission stickers and hand them out.
That'd be,
Like,
yeah,
that'd be
suppose-
tight.
That'd be very easy to do. We've got
Super
the
easy to
logo.
do.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind volunteering
Okay.
to do that.
Okay.
That's great.
celebration For the art commission.
That'd be good.
They did last year.
I don't know. I don't know that much about it this year for city celebration. I think it's.
It's true. If we want to produce stickers, do we have budget? We can, I mean, it's not very much money, but, I mean, I'm happy to order them, but, you know, like,
What if we,
who takes care of
what
it?
if we take some pictures of the artwork and make T-shirts and I would like to
That'd be
know more
cool.
about if we did that for funding for the Arts Commission.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe sell stuff,
Somebody wants
yeah.
to buy it,
Yeah,
who do they make that check out?
Yeah.
How do they pay for it?
yeah.
You know,
Do
because
you,
I
I mean,
know.
we do have $20,000 for the new biennium starts July 1st, and we've got $20,000 to spend in 12 months. So if we want to order some stickers, we can do it.
And maybe things that can be T-shirt, things that can be sold and make more, generate more revenue. But can we do it though?
It might be hard to get that done before First City Celebration.
Right.
Well, the
But
stickers
that
are
could be a
easy.
next year idea.
But the
The
sticker
stickers are
situation,
easy. The
yeah.
T-shirts
Sticker
take a
is
lot
easy.
longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Portland, sorry, I'll be quiet. Portland's Expose Yourself to Art campaign. Not that we should do something like that, but I'm just saying, like, if we were down the road thinking of something that could,
It'd be, yeah.
like, we're just making one, awareness for ourselves, and two, awareness for art. Like, it's a, you know, anyways.
I think an important thing to do is to also have either some kind of flyer or a questionnaire so that we can
Yes.
get people's comments and get people's support. And what do you want to, so we have murals that are starting, what would you like to see?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, that'd be
maybe I can work on that. And we'll have our meeting before the First City
Yes,
celebration, right?
we will.
Yeah. So maybe I can put that together. We can do it quick. I'll do it really, something really simple.
Yes, I'd be happy to help you come up with some ideas for that.
Okay, great.
So just to reiterate, the things that we listed right here, this is just getting started. Like, the marketing plan hasn't been mapped out, like, there's so much more that we can do, like, you guys are already saying some of the things that we've talked
Already
about.
discussed, yeah.
So that's really exciting. So I just wanted to point out, like, this is just, is this how we want to present ourselves, and do you guys like this? And getting that meeting, I think, will be really important. And then, and like I said, I won't be here next month, but Daria will, so she can report back on what we find out.
I agree with what Emma said. I really like that fourth little quote
Art
that was
is
up
for
there.
everyone.
Mhm.
I don't even remember writing that.
Well, it was good. It was coming from deep down inside of your brain.
The only thing, if you could include one word, something like all forms of art. So many people, the public, they think of art as painting, but to kind of just that one word, art in all its forms. I think that would be, encompass everything.
I'll sign us up to get it. We'll be participating with the city table at First City Celebration.
Sign or something.
Okay,
Guys.
item number 3, update on the 24-25 enhancement grant proposal.
Josh Planton and myself attended the Metro Enhancement Grant on Monday night and did our presentation. First part of it was to extend the sculpture, which was accepted. So they extended for another 6 months for last year's Metro Enhancement Grant. When we applied, when the application was finished and accepted, well, it wasn't accepted, we did get notice at that time that staff, which was James Grimm, had felt that a mural from the Oregon City Art Commission would be a conflict of interest, and he refused the application. But Josh and I got together and we had some reasons why we did not feel it was a conflict of interest. So we did put a letter together with the points of why we felt that was not so. But we even were given the thought that if all else failed, if they were sincerely uncomfortable, it was a conflict of interest with legal, because it is now going through legal right now, then an alternative would be to ask the city commissioners to make the final approval. Because the question is, if we are the regulatory organization that gives the final approval on the murals, then is it a conflict of interest to also be able to have a mural? And the board on the enhancement grant was very positive towards us. Many of them said, no, I don't feel that's a conflict of interest. There are other regulatory agencies that are active as well as regulatory. And so I think the final decision was to get a final word from legal. And then if legal felt that, no, this is not something that should be done, then at that point, we'll ask the city commissioners if they could take that approval process from us. So we're just in a holding pattern right now. And Anne, do you know any kind of time frame of when we might
I do
find
know
out?
the question has been asked to our attorney. I would assume we'd have a response within a week, but I don't know.
My comment is, isn't it a conflict of interest for the city to be giving itself a grant? If it's the city giving itself, the Oregon City Arts Commission, a grant?
That did come up.
I mean, that's my, I know, but the city approves it, though. I mean, the city personnel, city commission approves the grant.
And
The
then-
rep and the commission.
I have a question, because I missed the last meeting. Is the mural itself, who decides what, not who decides what that, will we receive ideas from the outside for what that mural is? Are we basically asking, did we basically ask the enhancement group, hey, we want money to be spent on a mural, but where and what that mural looks like is yet to be decided?
Yes,
And who would design that, I guess is my question.
right. Yes, to an extent. The Joseph Meek mural will be refurbished. We will be working with the Elks Lodge with they have, I even brought it with me, they have 4 values that represent the Elks Lodge that will do the same thing, send out just as we did for the sculpture, send out an RFP with as much, ideas as we can. And then we receive those applications for ideas, because in addition to the Joseph Meek mural, there'll be an extension of 10 to 15 feet that'll run across 99. And so I think that would be a wonderful thing to even discuss at a meeting, some of the ideas for that. I even brought it with me, the different values, but we can do that at another meeting. But same thing as the kind of sculpture, start with an RFP, receive ideas, or even the wraparound around the toilet.
And I would think that it wouldn't be a conflict of interest, because we are not benefiting from it.
Yeah.
The city and the residents of are benefiting from it. So I think I
just
think that
facilitating.
we're just saying, hey, enhancement committee, we think some of your money should be spent in this way. So
How is it any different from the
I mean, I think the
sculpture?
conflict comes
From
because we have regulatory authority as the Arts Commission. So if anybody wants to put up a mural now, they need to come to the Arts Commission for approval.
Yeah.
So that's where the conflict is.
That's a conflict, because we would have to approve a mural that comes from ourselves, basically. I have a question, sorry.
I was going to say, one of the points we brought up was that the only approvals that we give are process approvals. We are not allowed to decide on content. All we have to do is say, check. They talk to the planning department, check.
Yeah.
They're going to get. And
Yeah,
that's
it's more
all we're doing,
administrative,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, we're facilitating the creation of, we're not creating it. We're just
yeah.
facilitating the creation of it. That's different.
I have a question. Do we have a copy of the proposal that was submitted in a shared folder
Or is it in the shared?
for all of us
did
to
that.
see? Because I haven't read it. I haven't
Josh
seen
did an
it.
amazing job. We got together and
Yeah,
brought
it would be
a lot
nice
of
to be able,
ideas.
for all of us to be able to read it.
I'll email it to you all and I'll put it in the shared folder.
And also the letter that we put together that we
Yeah,
brought to
That'd be
the.
great. Yeah.
Post, because one of our planning commissioners just sent me a message about, was I gonna be calling her, and I said, no, I'm in a meeting. So, I got my phone 3 hours ago, the following is a message from the Oregon City Arts Commission. It's the post, there is a picture.
Yes, we sent it today. Yeah. Yeah, today.
Oh, very good.
It happened today. Yeah, I saw it today, before,
that's
just
great.
before coming here.
Exciting. Emma, do you have? Do you have to read it?
Go ahead, Emma.
Sure.
Thank you.
So the part that's the restoration, when we had the artists come in and give us a review of everything, I was wondering, are we like trying to contract work with that particular artist? Who's gonna be doing the work? Like, who's doing the restoration? How are we doing the proposal for the extension? Is that gonna be through an open process? That's, a call to artists or
Yes.
gallery stores? Are we gonna do that in a way to make sure that anyone who has the capacity is able to bid for that?
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be an open RFP, just as we did for the wraparound, just for the toilet, just as we did for the sculpture, would start with an RFP that would go out to all artists.
And I will remind folks, we did get $8,000 from the enhancement grant. Our full proposal was for $28,000. $8,000 was for restoration of different pieces. That was in Kathy's report to us, including the salmon bench. And then, so it's the 20,000 piece. So it's the $20,000 piece that's part of this enhancement grant. That's what's in question.
Okay. 20. And Josh has been in touch with the original artist that did the bench to get feedback on what it would need to repair it, if they feel they can do it. I also have some other mosaic artists that I've met over the last month that might be interested in it. Other questions?
I do have a question,
Yes.
because that confused me a little bit. So did the Community Enhancement Committee, they approved the $8,000 for the mosaic, but did they approve the $20,000 that would? That they approved a full 28,000, okay, but still the 20 of it is going through some additional question. If these,
It's not, it wasn't separate, we got a request to add it back. Bottom line total.
okay, all right,
So-
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any further comment? All right, number 4, Oregon City Art Center concept.
Okay. First of all, can I just apologize for all the stuff that it was so hard to get the meeting started and with the Zoom not working. I really thought it'd be more efficient to do the Zoom than to come here in a mask, which was dumb. So thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate you all.
There was something going on here, so that was.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I wanted to bring back up the idea of just getting an art center started in a place that is available as soon as we want it to be available, which is the Baptist Church on 9th. Lots of open space. Trias and I went on a nice tour. We spoke with the John, the pastor there. So I feel like I'd like to revisit that as as a commission. And I know the last time we spoke of it, Tima, I think you were asking if that's like a separation of church and state thing. So I think we can discuss that if we have time today, and just hear your thoughts on if you guys would like us to be moving forward with that, if you like the idea. I feel that if we have a space that we could get it started in soon, even though it's a temporary space, that gets the community, that creates physical visibility for that we're doing something for the community. It creates community connection so that when we are ready to, if we get a school building, we have to raise a bunch of funds to get it up to code or whatever, or building it. We already have a place where we've been connecting with the community in this way. We have community buy-in. We have a place to fundraise for that. So it's kind of like, we've already proved that we could do it. It's like when you apply for a grant and you're like, well, I already got this money raised here, so, and they know the project's gonna move forward. I think it would kind of psychologically do the same thing for the community, like, well, they're already doing it here, and they're ready to grow, so let's, gather around and fundraise. So I think those are the benefits of getting it started in a accessible place now, but I wanted to open it up to other comments. Yes.
As somebody who started lots of art spaces in my life,
Yeah.
and I've seen spaces that became fabulous artist-live workspaces that are now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit. I've seen spaces that I started that ran for a long time as really successful collectives, and now they're just, a closed-up garage somewhere. And so, I have an understanding of what it takes to start one of these spaces.
Yeah.
But so the proposal that Trieste was working on was a very specific kind of proposal. Now, what you're talking about is more like what I'm accustomed to doing as an artist. Can you tell me what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
And what are we gonna do as an arts? There's limits on what we can do as an arts commission.
Right.
There's not a limit on what we as a community can do of artists.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
What are you thinking of?
So, and Trius, if I'm missing information, because we were both,
Yeah, you go ahead and then I'll fill in
Cool,
on
thanks.
some thoughts I have.
Thanks. So there's 2 large rooms that we could use for people who wanted to put on dance classes, drama classes, any type of physical, even, yoga probably wouldn't be in there, but, and also a room to facilitate drawing, painting, things like that. Pretty accessible things. I don't think we could go so far as to do pottery or sculpture or anything like that, but we definitely could start doing after school, have a room for after school activities that are art-led with volunteers, things like that. And music lessons, even possibly doing writers workshops, things like that are just physical space that we could even put a sign and have our own entrance that says, the Oregon City Arts Center, whatever. And there's also a small space that we could use as administrative office essentially for the comings and goings. So am I getting that right, or?
Yeah.
Missing anything?
They have this, I think they call it the sanctuary. This is a room that fits 200 people with a sound system and a stage.
That's true.
Then there's the gymnasium. Then there's a wonderful meeting room that would probably fit about 50 with a fireplace. So paint parties, events. And what we're working on right now is the Battle of the Bands for youth. This is for any youth bands that are from 12 to 18. We've just started to put the word out there, and I had a long conversation with, does he call himself Pastor John?
No,
Just John.
just
Okay.
John. He
Had a long conversation with John, who is a wonderful, wonderful human being. And yeah, he is open to it. He can even run the sound system for us for a very nominal fee. I think it was $60. The rental fee for that is $200. And then one of the prizes, would be August 3rd at the church for the Battle of the Bands. And then one of the prizes is they would be one of the lead acts at Porch Fest on the main stage. In addition to some other things we were thinking of by some time maybe with Willamette Studios to do a recording, so they learn how to record also through it. So it's just, we've only gotten one application, but we feel like it's starting to build a little bit. There's a new website for Porch Fest that we'll have a page on. And I'm going to be visiting the Youth Music Project with Westland, see if they have any other bands. If we can even get just 5 bands, I think we can do it. Although we had big dreams of 10 bands and how we were going to, time it out and.
So, yeah, there's the addition besides like places for like activities and classes, there's a large performance space. And also a gymnasium that could be used for, you put your imagination on it, right? Like, yeah.
I really like the idea, I mean, I already said it before in prior meetings, of an art center. I think the more art we can have, the better. But I have got a question about the art center entity in relation to the Arts Commission, because I'm trying to get my head around, are we talking about the Arts Commission running? I mean, why, are we looking for the Arts Commission to be supportive of this initiative, or are we looking for the Commission to have a role, which I don't even think we can? I'm trying to understand the correlation, basically, because, I mean, one thing is some of the Arts Commission alongside other people decide to do an arts center, and then they ask for the Arts Commission, support. And another thing is the Arts Commission playing an active role in creating Arts Center, which I think is slightly problematic, perhaps. And so I'm trying to understand what the thinking is, you're looking for more of us to join in support, ideas, endorsement,
Yeah. Well, real talk, I'm not 100% sure. I just took this on as we were talking about Eastham, and then Eastham didn't work out. And it seemed like finding another building that the school board wasn't using would be a longer process than we thought. And I was just like, well, there's a bunch of unused space here, and they're cool with it. So I don't know when y'all were talking about Eastham, if you had some type of, structure, administrative structure, who would be running it, who would be involved. I don't know that. I don't know how that would all fall into place.
Yeah.
I mean, if I may,
These are good questions.
I think at that point, that conversation you guys were, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Trieste, you were thinking that you would create and eventually form your own organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas I think what's going on at First Baptist, is that the name of the
Yeah.
location?
It's just, yeah.
That, it's a space, and we can help facilitate people finding out about it. We can encourage people to become involved. We can use our grant funding if we want to help, become an artist. And, there's a lot of different ways that you as an arts commission can spread the word and get people involved.
Can we as not as arts commissioners, but can we as artists work with each other outside of the Arts Commission to promote a shared space? Say there's several of us and we join with other artists and we form the Oregon City Arts Collective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we do that separate
Yeah.
from the Arts Commission.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So it can be only maximum 3 people, right? Not 2.
2, yeah.
So it can be only 2 people from the commission.
No, we have 9.
nine.
So quorum would be 4.
3.
So being on the Arts Commission
4.
in some ways
Okay.
limits your professional work
Correct.
within the city while you're on the Arts Commission.
Yeah.
So you can't use the Arts Commission as a space to generate new art projects.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. There will be conflict.
So we have to work with,
In a very awkward
Very awkward.
so we have
Yeah.
to work with people outside of the Arts Commission
Yeah.
to foster, 1 or 2 of us can work on this with people outside of the Arts Commission to foster leadership
Exactly.
Yeah.
and to promote this
Yeah.
idea. But only 2 or
Yeah.
3 of us. 3 of us can do
I
it.
feel like my role in this, if we did move forward in this idea with trying to help facilitate this empty space in our community with the church community who's like, we want to use this for the community and we don't know how.
I'll work with you on that plan.
Yeah, and I think if you and I don't know, I don't want to volunteer Trias, but also you've had this, maybe if you and Trias want to work on the leadership part of it and getting people involved, and because I don't have the time to do that, but I definitely have the time to be the connection, because like, full disclosure, I rent my studio out of one of the offices. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the size?
It's large.
of this?
Yeah.
Large.
Is there like
Very large.
supplies, like supplies
There's not
to be stored?
Well, you know, they do have a hoard of craft supplies that I don't know how much they got. They had to get rid of some because it was just, I think they donated a bunch. They might still have craft supplies that we could start off with. Honestly, I can discuss that with John because I know they have like a hoard of craft supplies. They're like, we're never going to use all this type of thing for the children's church. It's just too much. So we can talk about maybe having some supplies to start off with, for sure. Yeah.
To both work on this.
Neat. Cool.
And is there like the possibility of having that entire space later on for
so the
a community
tricky
arts
thing-
center?
So the tricky thing is, gosh, you know what? The tricky thing is most of like the teaching, it was be in the basement. The basement's not depressing. I just want to put that out there. It's not like there's lots of actually light. The tricky thing is that in the center of the basement is a food pantry that is written in the church. They're never going to not do that food pantry ever. So that is there. One of the rooms is kind of, you'd have to walk through a small area of the food pantry. That's the biggest, nicest room with a fireplace in it. Another room, the room that could be like an office-y room would be right off where the entrance is, like where you go down to the basement. And then the next room that could be a lessons room is right off of that. So that's all before the food pantry, but you would have to walk. And there's bathrooms down there too that could be used, obviously. So as far as like if there were performances, it's just like, it's just like upstairs, it's a foyer and then a big open, sanctuary performance area. And then off of that is the gym, like right off to the side. So, saying all that to say, did that answer your question? It is a lot of space. It is a fair amount of space. And it's a lot of unused space.
But it's
And
not a
outdoor
property.
space.
It's not a property that would become available for us to use permanently.
No, the church owns the property. It wouldn't be, well, yeah, we couldn't like take over the whole building someday, which would be tight, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
My brain thinks about risk management, which is
Yeah.
my favorite topic.
And I would like to point out too, and this is something that's super important to me as ethically, as an artist and a human, is that I have previously been involved in a lot of religious organizations. They're like, we want to connect with the community, and it's a guise for proselytization, essentially. And I have thoroughly grilled and talked to, and I'm like, and this is not that. I wouldn't be renting a studio there. I am a member of the congregation. I wouldn't go there, and I'm not really religious, but I wouldn't go there if there was any like underhanded like, hey, we're gonna use the community, and then like, but you have to see like, religious pictures everywhere. It's not that situation. So it's very much like, how can we actually serve the community, not like lure the community in and then like convert them. So I just want to say that out front. 'Cause
Like
that's a
during
big
the
concern.
tour, we also had a very intense conversation about is your church accepting of LGBTQ and and he was very honest. He said, I am. He goes, I have lost parishioners because of my views and my acceptance, but that is not something that's going to change. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Ones which are fairly conservative and not very open. This is what's I was baptized in that particular church. not that one, but that denomination, and it's very, like, if they could change the name Baptist, they probably would, but it's an American Baptist church, which is different than Southern Baptist or the. Let me just say that.
Well, that's exciting. So I'm hearing that we got some volunteers to explore the idea further. Thank you, guys. I love that people on this committee are just like, yes, we're going to volunteer and do different things. I do want to do a quick time check. I know you've all seen the invitation to the volunteer recognition event. It's going to be a nice dinner. We're all, as arts commissioners, important volunteers for the community, so hope you can make it on July 30th. I would love to take a picture of people before people leave, because I'm sending in, our communications team is putting together photos of our different volunteers, so it would be great.
You mean today?
Well, I was gonna hope to do that. We're starting to run a little late, but.
You gotta warn people.
I know.
With your mask.
She said she wanted to take a picture.
Oh, you did?
I think you will.
Oh, I guess I gotta pay attention better.
Someone reads my email, thank you.
Yeah.
So if we're able to still do that, we can. If people don't feel comfortable, they'll.
No, the story could be.
I know, we
Rebecca
did,
left.
she had to leave, so.
Yeah,
Can we send you a picture?
no,
Like,
they want it
no?
all together.
Oh!
The committee, yes.
Okay, cool.
So what you're gonna do is line you up under that thing that says
Yes.
City of Oregon City.
Yeah, that's a
there,
good
right?
idea. It would be nice to have also, just to have.
I'm keeping this mask on, I'm still.
All right,
Yes.
So.
thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay, any further communication? No. All right, we are adjourned.
I do have
at-
communication.
Oh,
Sorry. It's important because I need all of your support. So next Saturday, 5 to 7, I'm launching an art print set called Arcobaleno, which means rainbow in Italian, and is a limited edition 100 sets art prints by one of my artists, is a queer artist, and we created it together as a project, and a good chunk of the proceeds will go to the Q Center. The Q Center is going to be present at the launch next week, and so it's kind of very important, very close to my heart.
What's the time
project.
again? Sorry.
5 to 7 p.m. next Saturday, Saturday 29. So if you can attend, that would be much, much appreciated. And then the following month, I will curate a follow-up exhibition in their art space at the Q Center. So I'm really excited about this collaboration. It's very important, I think, and it's very exciting. So I hope it will be well attended. Yes.
anything else? All right,
Now we're done.
adjournment at 8:51.
Picture.